All right, guys, let's take a look at percentages. Okay, so like on this first question here, we have, like they just word it really tricky. All right, so it's just 30 is what percent of 10? Okay, so whenever we see this little thing, is what percent of, which is also two of the three questions we're going to do in this video, we're going to have that. 30 is what percent of 10? Okay, you just divide the two numbers. So that's your first move. Just take our 30 divided by 10, right? Okay, and so 30 divided by 10 is 3, yes? Okay, so like really, like when we see a number like that, so when we see 3, that actually equals 300%. Okay, and that's going to be our answer for this one. 30 is what percent of 10, right? The answer actually is 300%. So if you get an answer, like just for some examples, like say you go and do the division, your answer is 1.6, right? In that case, that's 160%. 1 equals 100% exactly, right? Where like 0.8 is 80%. So that's how you do it. Let's do another one. It's a little eraser time. Just get used to it, right? You just have to see a bunch of these, but well, if you're not struggling with them, I guess you don't have to see a bunch of them. But if it's confusing at all, then you just really have to see a bunch of them, and then you're good to go. All right. So what if the question was 40 is what percent of 5? Okay. Same thing, right? We have our 40 divided by 5 is 8. Okay, and again, the answer is most definitely not 8%, but 8 is 800%. Okay, and so again, like the answer was other examples, 0.5 is 50%, right? If it's 1.3, 130%. The answer is 10,000%, right? So that's how you go about doing that. Okay, let's see here. We got one more. This one will be a little different, so we'll erase all this stuff. Oh, there goes my green box. Won't be fixing that. Okay. All right, so here's a question. 20. Isn't it nice that they just word it like so confusing like this? Is 80%. Just getting used to the language of math, honestly. Of what number? 20 is 80% of what number? Okay. Okay, so like anytime you have word problems, at first you like to sort of just like try to use some math logic, right? Because sometimes that can help you just to eliminate some answers, if nothing else. Okay, so we have this number 20, right? And it's 80% of what number? So if the question was 100%, then that would be exactly 20, right? Since it's 80%, we know if 20 is 80% of a number, we know that number is going to have to be greater than 20. If that doesn't make sense, we'll just kind of go into the math. So your first thought is 80%. Okay, so we have 20, right? That's what we start with. Over some number that we don't know. X equals 80% of that number, of this number X, right? And so 80% can be written as 4 over 5. 4 divided by 5 is 80%. Since we got fraction on one side, we like to have them on the other. Okay, and once you've set that up, then we can cross multiply for X equals 100. And we divide by 4 on each side, x is going to be 25. Okay, and as we said, we knew that that number was going to have to be greater than 20, right? If that doesn't make sense to you, then maybe it's easier to just do the formula. But when you see, like if that number was, if it said 20 is 120% of what number, right? And then we would know that 20, it's really saying 20 is a little bit greater than whatever the number is, right? And then we would know that number was less than 20. But anyway, as we set it up, 20 over x equals 4 over 5, cross multiply, and we get x equals 25.